Once a sacred luxury reserved for nobles, perfume has now become a global accessory, where style and identity are etched into every invisible drop, fueling a billion-dollar empire that never stops growing. But have you ever wondered how the bottles of perfume you see every day are actually made? The journey of creating these captivating statements of identity begins with the earth itself, where delicate flower buds are carefully harvested and brought to the workshop. From there, precious essential oils are born, moving deeper into an intricate blending process that transforms them into exquisite perfumes, mesmerizing millions of fragrance lovers around the world. Today, join Agriculture Insight as we uncover the most unique perfume-making process and the secret formulas hidden behind those glass bottles overflowing with scent. All will be revealed in this video. Every day, millions of bottles of perfume are consumed across the globe, serving as an invisible weapon that helps people feel more confident and attractive. Few realize that this beauty ritual traces back to ancient Egypt, where perfume was used to embalm pharaohs and connect with the gods. Over 55 billion USD, that is the staggering value the fragrance industry generates each year. The 17th century marked a turning point when distillation techniques were perfected, transforming glamorous France into the cradle of modern perfumery. Today, despite the rise of hundreds of brands, France still reigns supreme in both production and export, with legendary pillars like Chanel, Dior, and Guerlain. When speaking of French perfumes, sophistication, classic elegance, and luxury remain their timeless declaration. Meanwhile, fashionable Italy has made its mark with bold creativity and individuality through Gucci, Dolce & Gabbana, and Acqua di Parma. What's fascinating is that the very same bottle of perfume smells different on each person as it interacts with their skin's pH, body chemistry, and even lifestyle, creating an invisible signature that carries a deeply personal imprint. And to create this magic, every bottle of perfume is born from dozens, sometimes even hundreds of ingredients, with floral essences at its very heart. Now, let us begin the journey at the very first stop, lavender essential oil, the pillar of perfumery, where endless purple fields have nurtured the soul of countless eternal fragrances. Summer in Europe is the season of lavender. From the fields of Provence in France to the plains of Bulgaria, a sea of purple stretches endlessly, and when 70% of the blossoms are in full bloom, it marks the golden moment, the peak of essential oil content, ready for harvest. For farmers, harvesting lavender is not merely agricultural work, but an art passed down through generations with its own secrets and unwritten rules. The timing of the harvest determines more than 70% of the season's success in producing premium quality essential oil. Each day of delay causes the oil content in each purple blossom to drop noticeably. On the other hand, if harvested too early, the fragrance compounds have not yet fully accumulated their richness for distillation. Today, with the advancement of technology, manual harvesting has gradually given way to modern reaping machines. Across endless purple fields, specialized harvesters put on an impressive display of technology, gliding gently like ships cutting through waves in a sea of flowers. At the front is a system of sharp rotating blades, aligned parallel to the ground, cutting each lavender bush close to the root without crushing the petals. Immediately after, a synchronized serrated conveyor system sweeps the freshly cut lavender stems straight into the rear storage compartment, minimizing loss and preserving the quality of raw material before distillation. With just one run, a single machine can replace the labor of 20 to 30 farmers, boosting productivity up to tenfold compared to manual methods. Beyond saving time and effort, mechanization also ensures the flowers remain fresh and intact, preserving the maximum concentration of their precious essential oils. Immediately after harvesting, lavender must be transported to the factory within 24 hours to maintain freshness and minimize the loss of essential oil. With an annual yield of tens of thousands of tons, lavender has become a key supply source for the fragrance industry, accounting for up to 40% of the natural essential oils used in the production of perfumes and cosmetics. At the start of essential oil production, tons of lavender, lightly dried to 10 to 15% moisture, are poured into giant steam distillation vats. Here, the flowers are packed firmly enough for steam to permeate evenly through the entire mass. As hot steam is injected, essential oil molecules evaporate and rise along with the vapor. This mixture then passes through a cooling condenser system, where it transforms back into liquid form. Thanks to the difference in density, the essential oil floats to the surface and is separated in a Florentine flask. The water below, known as lavender hydrosol, still retains a gentle fragrance and is often used in cosmetics or room sprays. Finally, the essential oil is purified, bottled in dark glass containers or stainless steel drums, and stored at a stable temperature of 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. From there, the pale golden drops with their rich aroma are born, liquid gold that forms the foundation for countless iconic perfume formulas around the world. Yet, in the vast and diverse world of perfumery, lavender is not the only essential oil to be revered. At the higher end of the spectrum, rose and jasmine are celebrated as the true treasures of the fragrance industry. These two luxurious oils feature in nearly all legendary perfumes, from Chanel No. 5 and Dior J'adore to Guerlain Shalimar. And the journey to create them is no less elaborate than the making of a masterpiece. In Bulgaria, known as the Valley of Roses of the world, the harvest season for damask roses is fleeting, lasting only from late May to early June. The golden hour for picking is at dawn, when the petals have just begun to bloom and the essential oil concentration is at its peak. In the morning mist, farmers gently cradle each delicate bud, hand-picking them to preserve their fragile fragrance before quickly placing them into wicker baskets to avoid bruising, then transporting them straight to the distillery. Much like roses, jasmine, delicate and fragile, can only be harvested entirely by hand. In India and Egypt, the two countries that together account for 90% of the world's jasmine essential oil, the harvest is carried out like a traditional ritual. Farmers carefully pluck each blossom by hand, taking care not to bruise the petals. To preserve the highest concentration of essential oil, the flowers must be picked at night, around 2 to 3 a.m., when darkness still cloaks the fields, but the blossoms are at their fullest bloom, releasing their sweetest and most enchanting fragrance. Immediately after harvesting, the jasmine is placed into airy wicker baskets and swiftly loaded onto carts for transport to the processing facility. There, the flowers are spread out on a clean floor, evenly raked for preliminary sorting and preparation before extraction begins. Speed is critical, for even a delay of a few hours can cause the petals to wilt and their precious fragrance to fade away. Unlike lavender, which can be distilled directly with steam, more delicate flowers, such as roses and jasmine, require a more refined method: extraction with organic solvents, most commonly hexane. In this process, freshly harvested flowers are placed into multi-layered extraction vats. Hexane permeates through the petals, dissolving the aromatic molecules to produce a thick, waxy substance known as concrete. The concrete is then washed with pure alcohol to remove waxes and impurities, leaving behind the absolute oil, called rose absolute or jasmine absolute, depending on the flower. To obtain just 1 kilogram of this oil, it takes millions of blossoms, making it one of the most precious treasures, sought after for centuries by legendary perfume houses such as Chanel, Dior, and Guerlain. And once the absolutes are ready, the most awaited moment begins, stepping into the perfume ateliers, where the unique art of fragrance creation is finally revealed. From every corner of the world, barrels of fragrant lavender oil from Provence, regal damask rose from Bulgaria, and sweet white jasmine from India arrive at the perfume atelier. These are the very vowels of the fragrance symphony about to be composed. Each drop undergoes rigorous testing to ensure purity, concentration, and lasting power before entering the blending stage, the very heart of the art of perfumery. And now, our journey into the world of perfume production reaches its most important and anticipated stage, blending, the place where pure essential oils are combined to create timeless symphonies of fragrance. This is the domain of the nez, or golden noses, masters of scent, with the ability to distinguish and memorize thousands of aromas. In the laboratory, they work like true olfactory engineers, measuring every drop of essential oil, synthetic aroma, fixative, and solvent according to meticulously calculated formulas. Perfume is a three-tiered symphony: the fleeting top notes, the expressive and distinctive heart notes, and the deep, long-lasting bass notes. Yet even the slightest imbalance can disrupt the harmony of the entire composition. To become a true golden nose, one must undergo 5 to 10 years of intensive training at prestigious perfume academies, such as ISIPCA in France, before being entrusted with their own formula. With this rare expertise, the salary of a skilled perfumer can range from $60,000 to over $150,000 USD per year. And for the top masters working at luxury houses, the figure can be many times higher. But pure essences alone are not enough to become perfume. To diffuse and linger, they must be diluted. The answer lies in the combination with pure alcohol and distilled water, where the drops of fragrance are softened, shaped into their own character, and brought to a perfect balance between intensity and longevity. At this point, you might think the perfume is ready for the market. Not yet. Just like wine needs time to mature, perfume too must undergo an aging process in massive steel vats, sometimes just a few weeks, but often stretching from 1 to 3 years. Here, time itself is the silent artisan, allowing the layers of fragrance to meld together, transforming the liquid blend into an immortal masterpiece. When the aging process is complete, the solution is cold filtered to remove residues, becoming pure and crystal clear. Finally, the fragrant elixir is bottled with absolute precision, each drop measured to perfection. Caps are sealed, labels applied by hand, and flacons embraced in luxurious boxes. Thus, from fields of purple, white, and red blossoms, through the hands of artisans and the mastery of advanced machinery, these essential oils are reborn as magnificent perfumes, timeless symbols of power, allure, and the art of living. Country music, apple pie, and Budweiser beer. Few things scream America louder than the red, white, and blue label on a Bud can. Yet, the man who created this all-American icon was in fact a German immigrant. The story begins in the 1850s, when waves of Germans poured into the United States, transforming St. Louis, Missouri into one of the liveliest little Germanys in the country. For Germans, beer was never just a refreshing drink, It was a piece of cultural soul, especially the cold fermented lager, golden, clear, balanced, and easy to drink. By contrast, most beer in America at the time was ale, brewed warm, darker, heavier, and far stronger in taste. Amid this backdrop, a young German immigrant named Adolphus Busch entered the brewing trade after marrying Lily Anheuser, daughter of a small brewery owner. On a European journey in the 1870s, Busch stopped in the town of Budweis, now in the Czech Republic, and was instantly captivated by its sparkling golden lager, so crisp and refreshing. Returning to America, he resolved to recreate it, but with a clever twist to suit American palates, blending enzyme-rich 6-row barley with rice, producing the light, crisp, and clean taste that defined Budweiser. More than a century later, that recipe remains the beating heart of Budweiser, winning the loyalty of lager lovers worldwide every year. Those golden cans generate nearly $15 billion in revenue, cementing Budweiser's place among the best-selling beers on earth. And like every great story, this one has a beginning. For Budweiser, the legendary journey also starts at the source, in the hop fields, where one of beer's most precious ingredients is harvested at the perfect golden moment to capture its aroma and oils, becoming the soul of every world-class Budweiser brew. Every year from August to September, as the crisp autumn winds begin to sweep in, the vast hop fields of the Yakima Valley in Washington burst into a bustling harvest season. This is the golden moment for picking hops, when the cones have reached peak ripeness, packed with essential oils and lupulin, the very compounds that define beer's signature flavor and aroma. At some smaller farms, growers still preserve traditional harvesting methods. The hop bines are cut by hand with sharp knives, assisted by mechanical lifts. These lifts allow workers to reach the towering trellises where hop bines can climb up to 6 meters high. Once cut, the bines are either dropped onto waiting trucks below or hauled down manually before being transported to the processing facility. Meanwhile, on large-scale farms, the harvest has been fully mechanized. Automatic bine-cutting machines equipped with sharp blades can process hundreds of hop bines in just a few minutes. As the machines move along the hop rows, their cutting arms slice through both the tops and bases of the vines, causing the entire bine to drop onto a conveyor belt or into waiting trucks below. These modern machines are capable of harvesting between 48,000 and 108,000 pounds of hop plants per hour. Thanks to this technology, the hop harvest takes place at remarkable speed, ensuring the crop remains as fresh as possible. After leaving the vast fields, hops are immediately transported to the processing facilities. But before they can become the key ingredient in brewing flavorful beer, they must undergo a meticulous and carefully managed preparation journey. When the trucks loaded with hop bines arrive at the facility, the processing officially begins. The long vines, still covered in cones, are lifted onto automated conveyor systems or mechanical cranes, ready for the separation stage. To accomplish this quickly and efficiently, the plant employs massive machines known as hop picking machines, advanced mechanical systems made up of rotating brushes, rollers, and vibrating conveyors. As the bines move through, mechanical arms hold the stems firmly in place while the brushes sweep across them, gently stripping the hop cones and allowing them to fall below. Immediately after separation, the freshly picked cones are carried onto vibrating conveyors, where high-powered fans blow away loose leaves, small stems, and other lightweight debris. To ensure that only intact hop cones remain, a final screening system provides one more round of filtration before the hops move on to the next stage. Meanwhile, the stripped bines are taken outside to be recycled into fertilizer or livestock feed, a way to make full use of natural resources and minimize waste. After the cleaning process is complete, the hops move into multi-layer kilns to begin the crucial drying stage. Fresh hops contain as much as 75 to 80% moisture, and if not processed immediately, they quickly lose their quality. Inside the kiln, the hops are spread out in a layer about 24 to 36 inches thick on drying screens, while large fans blow hot air at 130 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit through each tier. This process lasts for 8 to 12 hours, with temperature and humidity carefully monitored to ensure the essential oils and natural aromas of the hops are preserved. By the end, the hops are reduced to just 8 to 10% moisture, the ideal level for long-term storage while maintaining peak quality. As soon as they leave the kiln, the hops are still warm and require a final cleaning. While traveling along the conveyor belts, high-powered fans blow away any remaining impurities. Afterward, the dried cones are transferred into cooling rooms kept at 0 to 5 degrees Celsius, where they are stored for several hours to a few days to stabilize their moisture content before packaging. Finally, the dried hop cones are gently moved by loaders into a specialized pressing system. Here, they are tightly compressed into large square bales to save space and maintain stability during transport. These bales are then packed into sacks, weighing between 20 and 100 kilograms, depending on the requirements of processing plants or customers. In addition to being packaged as whole cone hops, a large portion is further processed for pellet production. After being ground into smaller pieces, the hops pass through pelletizing machines, where high pressure compresses them into small, uniformly sized pellets. This process preserves the essential oils and aromas while significantly reducing volume, making storage and transportation far more efficient. Once the packaging step is complete, the hops are transferred to cold storage kept at 32 to 41 degrees Fahrenheit, preserving their freshness and signature aroma. From there, they continue their journey to the brewery, where they are combined with malt, the core ingredient that defines beer's flavor. Inside massive brewing systems, every stage is carried out with near-perfect precision, transforming hops and malt into a drink that has captivated millions. And now, let's move on to the most anticipated part of the journey, uncovering how a Budweiser beer is finally made. As soon as the barley arrives at the brewery, each batch undergoes strict inspection and preliminary cleaning to remove dust and other impurities. Grains that meet the standards then enter the steeping stage, inside massive conical tanks, submerged in cool water and continuously aerated to awaken the life within. The steeping process follows a cycle of soaking, draining, and resting, lasting about 2 days. By the end, the barley reaches an ideal moisture level of 42 to 46%, the threshold that triggers perfect germination. After being steeped in water to absorb sufficient moisture, the barley is transferred to vast germination rooms, where it is spread in an even, thick layer across the floor. Over the course of 4 to 6 days, the grains begin to sprout. Endogenous enzymes are activated, breaking down the endosperm structure and converting starches into simpler, fermentable sugars in preparation for the upcoming mashing stage. When the sprouts reach the desired stage of development, growth is halted by drying in industrial kilns, reducing the moisture content to just 3 to 5%. Budweiser employs a special low-temperature kilning process that preserves the vital enzymatic activity and maintains the pale, almost transparent golden color, the foundation of the American lager style. The malt is then gently milled to break the husk and release the starchy endosperm, while keeping the husk intact to serve as a natural filter for the next stage. Milled malt is combined with gelatinized rice, a signature ingredient that sets Budweiser apart. Inside the mash tun, the mixture is gradually heated in specific stages to activate different enzymes. Beta amylase produces a high level of easily fermentable maltose, while alpha amylase generates dextrins, contributing to a subtle sweetness and a smooth, rounded body in the beer. Once the clear wort is collected, it is boiled with hops for 60 to 90 minutes. Hops are added in stages. Early additions extract a stable bitterness, while later additions preserve delicate aromas. This boiling process also sterilizes the wort and defines the balanced flavor, blending the gentle sweetness of malt and rice with the crisp bitterness of hops. After rapid cooling, the wort is pumped into massive fermentation tanks, where Budweiser's signature lager yeast converts the sugars into ethanol and CO2 over the course of 7 days. The young beer is then cold-aged for several weeks at temperatures close to 0 degrees Celsius, allowing the flavor to mature into the rounded, pure, and balanced profile that defines the king of beers. Before we step into the modern packaging line, where millions of Budweiser bottles are completed every day, let's take a look at the surprising journey of those glass bottles. In fact, it all begins with pure quartz sand, melted at over 1500 degrees Celsius, together with limestone and soda ash to form molten glass. This mixture is then automatically blown and molded into bottles with uniform size and strength. Thanks to strict quality control, each bottle can withstand the internal CO2 pressure while preserving the beer's flavor intact until it reaches the consumer. At last, the beer is filled into glass bottles, aluminum cans, or kegs using an isobaric filling system, ensuring that the dissolved CO2 is perfectly preserved. Once sealed with caps or lids, the products move on to labeling, boxing, and shipment to distribution centers. From there, Budweiser's crisp and refreshing flavor reaches consumers across the globe, completing the meticulous journey that transforms humble barley and rice grains into the king of beers. Tulips. These flowers, with their graceful and vibrant beauty, have become a symbol of spring and a source of joy across the world. With over 6,000 different varieties, tulips aren't just flowers, they're a mesmerizing world of color. From the passionate red of love to the sunny yellow of happiness, the regal purple and the pure white of simplicity, each hue tells its own story, captivating anyone who lays eyes on them. What makes tulips truly special is their unique seasonal rhythm. They bloom gloriously in spring, usually between March and May when the weather turns gentle and warm. But their journey begins much earlier, in the chilly autumn months of October and November. Tulip bulbs are planted during this time, and they rest quietly beneath the soil throughout winter, gathering energy and nutrients to burst into life when spring finally arrives. The process of planting tulips on vast fields is truly a magical story, where modern technology and a deep love for nature come together. The soil needs to be loose, nutrient-rich, and well-drained so the bulbs won't suffocate. Large modern tractors roll across the fields, tilling the earth evenly and clearing away weeds. Once the soil is ready, a layer of organic fertilizer is mixed in, almost like giving the soil a nutritious meal to help the bulbs grow. When everything is prepared, it's time to plant the tulip bulbs, a task that requires precision and care. The bulbs are placed into special planting nets spread across the fields. Modern planting machines then carefully set each bulb into the ground at just the right depth, about 15 centimeters deep to protect them from frost, and spaced 10 to 20 centimeters apart, giving each bulb plenty of room to grow. When spring arrives, the peaceful fields come alive as tiny tulip sprouts push their way up, reaching for the sunlight. Within just a few weeks, the entire field transforms into a vibrant sea of colors. When tulip sprouts begin to emerge, farmers take extra care to ensure their growth. Tulips love moist soil but are sensitive to waterlogging, so modern irrigation systems are used to maintain just the right level of moisture. Sunlight is equally important, with each plant getting enough sunbathing time to grow to its fullest potential. Gentle organic fertilizers act as a nutritious meal to help tulips grow faster and bloom vibrantly. However, every step is done with care, as tulips are delicate and require a soft touch. Thanks to this meticulous attention, each tulip blooms perfectly, adding to the pride and beauty of the flourishing fields. When spring arrives, vast tulip fields transform into a breathtaking masterpiece, with millions of vibrant flowers in full bloom. As the blooming season comes to an end, farmers begin the crucial task of cutting the flowers to direct nutrients back into the bulbs. Specialized cutting machines move steadily across the fields, carefully trimming each flower just above the leaves to avoid damaging the stems and bulbs below. The cut flowers aren't sold, but are instead left on the ground to decompose naturally, enriching the soil with organic nutrients. For smaller rows or flowers missed by the machines, workers complete the process by hand, ensuring every detail is handled meticulously. After the tulip flowers are cut, harvesting the tulip bulbs becomes the most critical stage on the field. Specialized tulip harvesting machines are designed to ensure high efficiency while carefully protecting each bulb from damage. These machines are not only powerful but also incredibly precise, making them ideal for the demanding yet delicate work required on large fields. The harvester is typically attached to a tractor and equipped with sturdy, long tines. As the machine moves, these tines dig deep into the soil, lifting layers of earth and bulbs evenly. The soil and bulbs are then carried onto a horizontal conveyor belt, where a gentle vibrating mechanism shakes off the excess dirt clinging to the bulbs. At this stage, the bulbs are already partially cleaned and ready to be collected. One fascinating feature of this system is its integration with pre-laid planting nets. As the tractor moves along, the nets help secure the bulbs in place, making it easier to lift them from the ground without displacement. The bulbs are handled evenly and carefully, minimizing any risk of damage or bruising. At the end of the conveyor belt, the tulip bulbs are neatly collected into large bins or crates, ready to be transported to the processing facility for thorough cleaning and sorting. This efficient process typically takes just a few hours to cover an entire field, thanks to the support of advanced technology. Watching the harvester glide across the field, leaving behind neatly groomed rows and freshly dug tulip bulbs packed in crates, one can truly appreciate the rhythm and precision of this process. This marks the final step on the field and the beginning of the next journey for these tulip bulbs, from the nurturing soil to flower enthusiasts around the world. The journey of tulip bulbs after harvest continues at the processing facility, where everything is handled with great care. First, the bulbs are placed onto conveyor belts to begin the cleaning process. Gentle water jets wash away the soil still clinging to the bulbs, leaving them fresh and ready for the next step. Some facilities even use rolling systems or soft brushes to ensure every bulb is thoroughly cleaned and polished. Next, the bulbs move to the bulb splitting station, where smaller side bulbs, known as offsets, are carefully separated from the main bulbs. These offsets, though small, hold great potential and will be preserved for planting in the next season, often used for producing cut flowers. Meanwhile, the main bulbs, which have reached the ideal size, are processed further to be prepared for export or sale. Since the outer layer of the bulbs often carries dirt, bacteria, or fungal spores, peeling the outer skin is a crucial step. This not only improves cleanliness but also extends the bulb's shelf life. Specialized machines handle most of the peeling process, but for stubborn bulbs, skilled workers step in to ensure every bulb meets the quality standards. Finally, the bulbs are sorted by size and quality. The large, healthy main bulbs are carefully packaged for export or retail markets, while the smaller offsets are stored and prepared for replanting in the next growing season. This meticulous process optimizes the use of every bulb, ensuring nothing goes to waste. Every tulip bulb, whether big or small, carries the dedicated care and precision of this process, ready to embark on its next journey, whether it's growing in a new field or blooming in someone's garden across the globe. Once the tulip bulbs have been carefully processed, some are planted in greenhouses. But why use a greenhouse for tulips? It's simple. Greenhouses provide the perfect environment to control conditions and ensure the flowers bloom right on time for special occasions like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, or other big events. This is how growers turn flower dreams into reality, no matter what the weather is like outside. The process starts with preparing special planting trays. These trays are neatly designed and sized just right to hold the bulb securely. Farmers meticulously inspect each bulb to ensure it's free from disease or damage before gently placing them in the trays. Next, the trays are placed on automated conveyor belts, which carry them through a watering system that moistens the bulbs, preparing them for root growth. After that, the trays are moved to a cooling room, where the temperature is maintained at around 41 to 48 degrees Celsius for 11 to 16 weeks. This phase acts as an artificial winter, allowing the bulbs to store energy, stimulate root growth, and prepare the flower buds for development. When ready, the trays are moved to the main area of the greenhouse. Here, every factor, light, temperature, and humidity, is carefully controlled. Modern LED lights provide optimal lighting to encourage uniform and healthy growth. Automatic misting systems maintain the right humidity, while heating systems ensure the temperature stays at an ideal 61 to 64 degrees Fahrenheit, essentially a five-star hotel for tulips. In this perfect environment, tulip bulbs grow quickly and evenly, preparing to bloom into stunning flowers that bring joy and beauty to any occasion. After several weeks of careful nurturing in the greenhouse, when tulips begin to bud and emerge from their planting trays, it's time for harvest. The trays of tulips are moved to the harvesting area, where modern machinery and the skilled hands of workers operate in perfect rhythm. Specialized cutting machines carefully trim each flower stem at just the right height, ensuring the stems remain long and undamaged. The freshly cut tulips are then neatly placed into transport trays, designed to keep the flowers upright and protect their delicate stems and buds during transport. Each bouquet is gently wrapped in soft paper or breathable mesh to secure the flowers without putting pressure on their fragile petals. These bouquets are then placed into specially designed boxes lined with shock-absorbing materials to safeguard the flowers during long-distance transportation. Every box is sealed carefully, labeled with details such as the flower variety, quantity, and origin, ready to embark on its journey across the globe. Every tulip, before reaching its final destination, carries a story of precision, care, and beauty, a testament to the intricate and magical journey that brings these blooms to life. The The journey of artichokes begins in sprawling fields, where each one is carefully nurtured under California's radiant golden sun. The process of growing artichokes starts with selecting high-quality seeds from trusted suppliers to ensure good germination rates and strong growth potential. The seeds are prepared and sown into seedling trays filled with a special nutrient-rich soil mix, typically made of loose soil, organic compost, and essential minerals to support early development. These trays are placed in a nursery where conditions like temperature, humidity, and light are carefully controlled to optimize germination and initial growth. After about 4 to 6 weeks, once the seedlings have developed strong roots and sturdy leaves, they are ready to be transplanted into fields or greenhouses for further growth. Before planting artichokes, the field needs to be plowed thoroughly to ensure the best growth of the plants. Next, artichoke seedlings are planted in the field using a semi-automatic machine that improves efficiency and precision. The machine is equipped with seats for workers, allowing them to place each seedling into pre-prepared planting holes on a conveyor system. The machine then automatically positions the seedlings at the proper depth and gently covers them with soil to secure them in place. This method not only ensures consistent planting spacing, but also significantly reduces manual labor, optimizing the planting process. After about 8 months of careful care, artichokes are ready to be harvested. When they're ready, the buds reach their maximum size with a plump, rounded shape and tightly closed, thick outer leaves. This is the ideal time to harvest, as the buds haven't opened yet, ensuring they retain their fresh flavor and signature crispness. If left too long, the buds will bloom, affecting both quality and market value. The color of artichokes, either green or purple, depends on the variety. Green artichokes, like the green globe, are popular in the US for their uniform shape and rich flavor, while purple artichokes, such as Violet de Provence, stand out with their striking color and high levels of antioxidant-rich anthocyanins. The hustle and bustle of harvest season is a sight to behold, showcasing not only the breathtaking beauty of the fields, but also the dedication and hard work of farmers as they pick each artichoke at its finest quality. Harvesting artichokes by hand is a job that requires skill, agility, and precision from experienced farmers. During the harvest season, they carry sharp knives or specialized shears to carefully cut each artichoke, leaving a short stem of a few inches. This stem not only protects the artichoke but also makes processing after harvest much easier. After cutting, the farmer skillfully tosses the artichoke backward into a soft, specially designed basket strapped to their back. This technique is no simple task. It demands speed and accuracy to ensure the artichoke lands securely without falling out. An experienced farmer can harvest up to 150 to 200 pounds of artichokes per hour, depending on the density of the crop and the ease of the terrain. Once the baskets are full, they are quickly carried to a collection point, where the artichokes are loaded onto trucks for transport to the processing facility. Thanks to their expertise and professionalism, these farmers not only achieve high productivity, but also ensure that each artichoke maintains its top quality from field to factory. Surely, everyone is familiar with artichokes, a vegetable that's not only nutritious but also great for your health. Often called the flower of the kitchen, artichokes provide an excellent source of fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. It's estimated that artichokes contribute around $46 million annually, making them an important part of the U.S. economy. With its warm climate and fertile soil, California is the perfect home for these vibrant artichokes. Here, artichokes are grown year-round and reach their peak ripeness in the spring, when fields come alive with stunning shades of green and purple, like a living painting. Every year, thousands of immigrant farmers from Mexico arrive in California to work on artichoke farms during the harvest season. These skilled workers harvest artichokes at an impressive pace, often picking hundreds of heads per hour to meet the high demand. Their wages vary, but typically range between $15 to $20 per hour, with some earning more based on productivity. These hardworking individuals play a crucial role in America's agriculture, ensuring fresh produce reaches consumers across the country. Their dedication and expertise are the backbone of the industry, contributing significantly to the success of the U.S. farming sector. Alongside green artichokes, purple artichokes are grown in mild climates like California, Italy, and France, where the soil is rich and the weather is just right. Harvesting purple artichokes is done in the same way as green ones. Farmers use sharp knives to cut the artichoke heads from the plants and quickly toss them into trucks moving along the rows. This process ensures the artichokes are harvested quickly and stay as fresh as possible. The purple artichokes are then transported straight to processing facilities or markets. After harvest, artichokes are transported directly to processing facilities. They can either be packaged fresh for immediate sale or processed into pickled artichokes. Next, the artichokes are thoroughly washed with high-pressure water jets to remove any dirt or debris. This step ensures they are clean and ready for further processing. It also helps maintain the freshness and quality of the artichokes before packaging or additional preparation. Next, the artichokes are transferred onto an automated lifting system that carefully loads them onto conveyor belts. This system ensures a smooth and efficient process, minimizing damage to the delicate artichoke heads. The conveyor belt transports the artichokes to the sorting area, where workers carefully sort them by hand. They inspect each artichoke for size, quality, and any visible imperfections, ensuring only the best ones continue to the next steps. The rejected artichokes may be set aside for alternative uses, like processing into secondary products or composting. This thorough sorting process helps maintain the high standards expected by consumers. The final step involves carefully packing the artichoke buds into trays, ensuring each one is handled with care to prevent any damage. Workers arrange the buds neatly, securing them in place to maintain their shape and freshness during transportation. The trays are then sealed and labeled with essential information such as weight, origin, and expiration date. Once packed, the artichokes are ready to be shipped to markets and stores, reaching consumers in their freshest and finest condition. In addition to being packed fresh, artichokes are also processed into pickled artichokes. The process starts with the artichokes placed on a conveyor belt. They are then transported to size sorting slots that separate them based on their dimensions, ensuring consistency for the pickling process. After sorting, the artichokes are sent into the factory. In factory, artichokes are placed into automated machines designed to trim away the excess leaves. These machines precisely cut off the outer layers, leaving only the tender cores that are ideal for pickling. The automated process ensures uniformity and minimizes waste, while also speeding up production. Once trimmed, the artichoke cores are ready for the next steps in the pickling process, such as brining and seasoning. The artichoke cores then continue along the conveyor belts to a second sorting stage, where workers carefully inspect them by hand. This step ensures that any imperfections or inconsistencies missed during the automated process are addressed. workers check for quality, size, and shape, removing any cores that don't meet the required standards. This meticulous hand-sorting process guarantees that only the best artichoke cores proceed to the next stages of pickling and packaging. The artichoke cores are then blanched for a few minutes in hot water to preserve their texture and flavor. This process helps prepare the cores for long-term storage and enhances their taste. Once blanched, the cores are carefully packed into jars, ensuring they are evenly distributed and properly sealed. The jars are then capped and labeled with all the necessary information, making them ready for distribution to consumers. In another facility, the blanched artichoke cores are sliced into smaller pieces to prepare them for canning. These pieces are then transferred onto an automated canning line, where they are carefully portioned into cans. The system ensures precision in both the quantity and arrangement of the artichoke pieces to maintain consistency. Once filled, the cans are sealed, sterilized, and labeled, making them ready for shipping and storage.